This is a very impromptu live that I'm doing for the channel right now, and I want to make sure here. Let me make sure this is going out okay, because I've had that problem before, where I go live very quickly and things are not ready. So let me just double check all my stuff right now. Um, before we get going, because I do want to talk. I was just watching the lawyer, the DUI guy. I was watching his live stream, and uh, there is some crazy, crazy stuff going on there right now. So, okay, yeah, I am live. I did everything right, because I've been using my phone here lately, not using the computer as much, except for my recorded content. So I was watching the DUI guy. Now, I've been following the DUI guy for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. When I started doing this channel, that's when I very much I wanted to do a couple things. So my mission, as you all know, is to is to help and entertain veterans, military members, and their families. That's my mission. That's the mission of Veteran Nation, the mission of Veteran Nation Foundation. So that's what I do. And part of that, I very quickly determined that I also wanted to fight corruption because of the corruption that I dealt with in the military, the corruption that I know people deal with on the civilian side. So that's why if you go into my playlist, I've got a whole stream of harassment and corruption. Some of it's specific, some of it's very generalized. And that led me into First and Second Amendment auditors. I started following them. I was aware of Jeremy Hales at What the Hales on YouTube. I was aware of him. I would casually watch him because he was always doing content in Ohio, and he's from Worcester. And for those of you who watch the show, you know I was born and raised in Toledo, Ohio. So I've traveled all around Ohio before I moved out of Ohio. So I got to know a lot of different parts of Ohio. So I would watch his videos with curiosity and be like, oh, okay, he's here. I know where that is. I know where that is. But I really was not like a big follower. I was just a casual fan. But for the DUI guy, you know, once I started following those First Amendment auditors, that's when uh, uh, I started seeing things out there uh, of his stuff, and would watch his shorts, would watch his videos, and you know, it kind of took me down that hole a little bit. So I've been a subscriber of his. I've been a subscriber of his longer than I've been one of What the Hales. Uh, but I'm very big against corruption, as you know. That's what drew me into what's going on with Jeremy. When probably about February, March of last year, I started following what he was doing with Otter Creek. And with Otter Creek, you know, he's fighting corruption. And that's when I started seeing I've been watching all of this unfold, and I've commented on it and talked about it. Uh, I have no affiliation with What the Hales. They're in Florida. I'm in California. Never met them. Never talked to them or anything like that. They've got a huge channel. I've got my little channel over here. Um, Never talked to the DUI guy. He's in Kentucky, I believe. Because I see stuff from in Tennessee too, but I think he's based out of Kentucky, if I remember correctly, but goes around that area. But like for instance, if you've been watching the show, you know that I've been following Travis Hines for quite a long time with several of the battles that, you know, of the times he's been arrested and stuff like that, and now the DUI guy is helping him out. And Conspiracy Kitty's gonna jump into screen here. He can't move too much. What I'm doing today, I was actually working. I'm going through, it's tax season, so I'm going through and I'm organizing all my receipts, getting ready to do my taxes next month, which, by the way, you should always keep all your receipts, especially if they're anything that can be tax deductible. And I've gone down that rabbit hole. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Uh, but yeah, that's my day. I was going through. I've got everything. My desk right now is normally pretty clean, and it is completely trashed. I've got receipts all over the place. And while I do this, I generally either turn on music or a podcast, or just let YouTube scroll. And I wanted to see what the DUI guy, because I watched him with Jeremy Hales earlier this week. For those of you who are sub to the channel, you know that I did broadcast uh, Brett Granger's town hall meeting. I restreamed that because Madam Mayor's had gone down, and I wanted people to be able to watch it, and not everybody's got Facebook, so I did that. A lot of you subbed. Thank you so much for that. Um, but watching the DUI guy, he is right now discussing the. He's doing his live today, and he's discussing uh, Craig DeThomasis. Okay, we got Lion in the chat. He's from Worcester and Toledo. Hey, I haven't been. I've been to Ohio plenty of times in the last several years. I normally go back at least twice. I have not been to Toledo since 2008, and I still have a lot of friends and family there. It's just I haven't been. My immediate family all moved out of there, so I need to go back. I want to actually take. I've got my kid. Want to take my kid back because there's some things that I really want to show him about how I grew up. Like right now it's fishing season. If you're in Ohio, it's walleye season, and I miss that every year. But I need to get back for some of that stuff. But yeah, that's why I watch people. I've got my various interests, and if you follow the channel, there's some things that definitely interest me, and anti-corruption is one of those. And I Jeremy has talked about, hey, if you see something, say something. Don't call anybody. Don't do anything unless you see something and you think you morally, ethically, legally have some type of obligation. We're not mandatory reporters, but you down deep in your soul, you can be a mandatory reporter. So he's been discussing that, and I pay attention. They're not on this case, but on several others. There's been times where I've gone and uh, said things about other cases. For instance, I've had veterans who have been just trashed, like the Angry Vet and my buddy Kanu over at a Veterans Affair. They've been arrested by the VA. I will stand up against that because it's absolutely wrong. These are just veterans looking for help, looking for care, and yeah, they might be a little bit prickly, but all of us veterans are a little bit prickly. We all have mental illness. We've got PTSD issues. So, I will, if it's something where I'm like, this is wrong, I'm gonna take a stand. I will absolutely step in and do something. And the DUI guy put out that video, and I listened to it. The one with he's now saying it's a former judge who called and left him a threatening message. I've listened to the audio. I didn't think it was Judge DeThomasis. I could tell it wasn't his voice. I publicly commented who I thought it was, but then after watching his video today, that it appears to be a former judge, I now am going to step up and I am going to do a complaint against Judge DeThomasis. Why? Because this is the exact same thing that Judge DeThomasis has been holding Jeremy accountable for. So guess what? If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. It's kind of like, what do they call it in the legal terms? The fruit of the poisonous tree. Everybody, either you cut out the cancer or you don't. So I am going to be making a complaint against Judge DeThomasis because he has other people acting on his behalf, making threats. That is wrong. That is absolutely wrong. And if Judge DeThomasis, if he is a man of character, he will say, whether he had anything to do with it or not, he would say, it's wrong. It's the appearance of impropriety. As a judge, I cannot have the appearance of impropriety. Just that alone is improper. And because of that, I am not going to do anything. So, after watching what they were talking about and why they believe it's a former judge, and just watching the craziness of this case, Judge DeThomasis needs to recuse himself from this case. He needs to walk away. It's too big, too many eyes watching on it. It shouldn't come to this. I do lots of anti-harassment, anti-corruption stuff. A judge, I had believed that Florida had a rule that if you asked a judge to recuse, they pretty much had to. Uh, and I'd stated that publicly, but watching the What the Hales case, they didn't. The judge didn't do that, and I was like, okay, well maybe I'm wrong. I'm not an attorney. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, I've been in court for many uh, court sessions because of my schooling. That was a part of the thing I had to get used to, was going in and reporting on courtroom issues. And then when I became a Marine, especially an officer, and now I've got to do summary court martials and I've got to do non-judicial punishments. I That's when I really started taking a, a an honest interest in legal matters. Like, I really wanted to know, and that's where my interest in First and Second Amendment auditing. Those are our rights. We should be protecting our rights. We should be fighting for our rights. So as I've been watching this stuff unfold, it becomes very clear to me that Judge DeThomasis absolutely needs to recuse himself. No ifs, ands, or buts. If he won't, then either, I don't know if it's probably not Judge Mosley, knowing how courtrooms in general work. Florida has its own rules. Uh, Probably not Judge Mosley, the chief judge, uh, but definitely the appeals court should overrule him on these motions and say, yeah, you give it up, give it up. Because why, you know, with judges, why even take that chance? Why even have someone say that you're improper? Just give up the case to another judge. Be like, okay, well, this is a headache I don't want to deal with. Go right ahead. I used to do that all the time. If I had, you know, Marines who were making allegations on me, and I was like, look, just go. Go somewhere else and work. Bloom where you're planted. I'm not going to hold you here if you're not happy. And, I used to jokingly say that my office, because I was a logistics officer, I used to say that we were the land of misfit toys. Oh, we got some dirt bikes going by if you hear them. I used to jokingly call us the land of misfit toys because I would get the Marines that no one else wanted. It was a hodgepodge. I would have my Marines that, per TO and E, I could have, but then they would give me other ones because, oh, this guy, he's in trouble for this, and this guy is in trouble for this. I remember they gave me a Marine who had popped on a urinalysis. I'm on YouTube. I gotta be careful how I say it, but they had popped on urinalysis and for meth. And when they gave him to me, I'm like, "Why are you giving me this, Murray?" "Oh, you said you needed help down in the armory." I'm like, "So you want me to give someone on drugs access to our weapons? Really? Are you telling me this?" That's kind of how dumb Marines we can be. Um, but I would gladly take other people's problems on, and if I had a problem, I would find, hey, go work for this guy. You don't want to work for me, you don't want to, fine, go over there. Hopefully they'll treat you differently than what I did. But I always had a problem with people who would hold on and be like, no, you will do this. It's this Benghazi rabbit sounds about right in the military show. Yeah, it is. It's the military in general. You get these people who, no, I'm in charge, so I'm gonna keep you here. I never understood that mentality. I was always like, you know what? I want to fulfill the mission, and if that means I have to lose somebody who's a problem, it's addition by subtraction. You go over there. Things work out working for the S3 or the S6, wherever I'm sending them. you go work over there. I'm going to do my job with less people, and I'm probably going to do it better because now I don't have to put someone to babysit you. And that's kind of this case. Judge DeThomasis needs to give it up. He needs to give it to another judge and just walk away. He is way too emotionally invested. He cannot be impartial at this point. So I had to jump on a live. I had to stop going through my receipts and getting ready for tax season because I just had to say that. So I appreciate all of you who joined me on this live. I hope I didn't run my suck too much, but definitely go to the at DUI Guy Plus. Follow his streams also at What the Hales, and what's the gentleman Ray Bone Crusher that he said he wants everybody to follow. So go while you're here on YouTube, go follow those accounts, and because they're all good people and they're all trying to do good things, and hopefully we'll see some forward movement with this case, and yeah, then everybody can just move along and we don't have to fight as much corruption. But I definitely thank all those people for helping highlight it because, as I always used to say in the military, sunshine is the greatest disinfectant. You turn the lights on, the cockroaches scatter. So uh, that's all I have for today. As always, thank you for joining me. Go to veterannationfoundation.com, buy some of our merch because we are a nonprofit. You buy some of our merch, we can then use that money to help veterans. We're going to be doing more and more things. I really think we're definitely gaining some traction, and yeah, want to be able to help lots of people out there. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.